Okay, today we're going to be working on the 1962 Chevy Corvette again. This is the 340 horsepower option, non-fuel injected. So we are going to replace the water pump. I've already taken out, obviously, the old water pump. And so if you look over here, the water pump is out, and so the trick with this is that if you look over here, the water pump sits on this bracket, and the bracket is what holds up the engine, the front of the engine. So the motor mounts that sit on the motor mount brackets down there go underneath the bracket here. Okay, so it's important to know that, because before, so that bolt would end up like this when it sits in the engine. So before you take out the water pump in this bracket, you have to support the front of the engine with the jack as down here. So otherwise, the engine would fall down onto the pitman arm or the exhaust crossover pipe. So you support the engine, take out the 4 bolts after taking out the clutch fan and the fan, and the water pump will come right out with the bracket. So, and then the trick, so now you need actually 4 of these gaskets, right? Because 2 are between the pump and the bracket, and then 2 between the bracket and the engine. So that's why you need 4 of these, and of course use water pump gasket sealer on all the gasket surfaces. So the trick to getting this all lined up is that you take the motor mounts out each side. Of course, the engine's supported by the jack, and it's high enough such that this assembly here, with the bolts sticking out here, and of course with the gaskets, can be lined up and bolted, the 4 bolts threaded into the block. And once that's in place, you can then insert these motor mounts between the motor mount bracket and this bracket, and slide the bolt from underneath. So that's a lot easier than trying to get everything lined up, getting this lined up with the brackets and the 4 bolts all at the same time. So that's the procedure. And we'll have part 2 here in a minute, actually installing the pump and the bracket.